So Melk is an AI-powered property management solution that basically runs the A to Z of your properties, including operations and accounting. I didn't start Melk. Melk started itself, if you recall.
Absolutely.
And the story is that Yasmine and I have been working together for years, and we were working together on our education company, Cyberactive. I also, in parallel, run properties. I have properties in, triple net and commercial and also residential. And I had a real pain point in running the properties and running the different businesses because we used QuickBooks and Intuit Enterprise Suite for running all of our businesses. And then we had to transfer the information from the property management software we're using into QuickBooks. So we tried to make an integration, and I can let Yasmine speak more to what that integration looked like. But the bottom line of the integration was, at the end of the day, somebody had to get the data into QuickBooks. And that data would not get into QuickBooks on a daily basis or on a weekly basis. It would get there on a monthly basis. And that really makes you miss out on key insights and AI capabilities that Intuit has. And I think that was the biggest pain point. So we spoke, and then we decided to write a property management software.
Yeah, and so traditionally, when you're running a family office, there are a lot of systems that people use, right? So you use one system for accounting, one system for finances, then you use another system that you might use for your maintenance, for your tenants' communication.
So when we were using the other property management software, what happened is our managers would get communications through their texts. Some tenants would, communicate via text. Some would communicate via email. Some would communicate through WhatsApp. Some would communicate through phone calls. But one of the things that we did is we said, let's look at the entire system wholesale. How do we totally and utterly streamline communications? And one of the things we came up with is we said, no matter where they communicate, no matter where the tenants or the maintenance people or the vendors communicate, everything ends up in one place on our system, on the system that would become Melk.
Yeah, and to have the ability to manage everything in one place and not have to log in to multiple systems and try to find previous communication with tenants, I think that was a game changer.
Yeah, to have everything in one place, all communications, when you're running a business like properties, there's so many legal things that go with it. You have to, for example, when units get emptied, you have to give the security deposit with a certain number of days, and you have to, you never know, you end up in court. You have to have all the communications in one place. And that's what Melk does. It allows you to keep everything in one place, whether it's coming in through text, phone, WhatsApp, email, it all goes in one place. Whereas with other ones, a lot of times you sort of have to tell the tenant or whoever, the manager, make sure you only stay on the app, and people don't just always follow it.
Yeah, and a lot of people ask us, why do we need AI agents for property management? And I think it's just as simple as property management itself is 100 different types of actions that you need to, work on, different types of workflows. And so I think AI agent would be perfect for this because the workflows can actually be automated from AI.
You're exactly right. So in 2015, you could use the other softwares, the other PMS softwares that basically, they're very basic. But in 2026, not using agents to run your business makes no sense. You will be left behind. I mean, right now, our workflow is so different. We run the same kind of company with very, very few employees, less than 70% of the workforce that we use to run the exact same company. Actually, not the exact same, maybe 20% smaller because our portfolio grew, but now we run it with agents. Every part of our workflow is influenced and run by agents, automated agents we set up to do repetitive tasks, to do marketing tasks, and we can get more into marketing afterwards.
Yeah, for sure, and compliance and communication agents that we built as well. And I think what made it very interesting for us to build the software together was really think of AI as not just a feature here and there. It was more of, AI as an infrastructure.
Yes, we thought about AI as like it was our invisible employees. I remember I told Yasmine, I said, I want to automate as much as we can. Like I'm the automation queen. I'm obsessed with automating. And when we got together, I think we saw things the same way. And that's what made us work together is I said, I want to start this, software, but I want to make sure it's very different than what's out there. I would not want to build the exact same thing. And we were right at the cusp of AI. AI is getting better and better every day. And we're right there and we're like embracing it. And we're not this huge company that when AI comes out, it's, when one feature comes, it takes us forever to get it out there. And by the time we get it out there, there's 40 more different kinds of features. Everything that's coming out, we're implementing it into our software right now.
Absolutely. So the biggest difference with our software is that we don't just use AI as assistants anymore, right? And so we use AI as true operators. And we take an entire workflow and we operate it from A to Z, whether it be marketing or maintenance related or communications related.
You're exactly right. So let's tell people what that means. Let's go through each one and explain it. Let's start with maintenance. How was maintenance done before? Before the age of AI, a request would come in, a manager would have to go review the request, then the manager would go and say, okay, well, we're going to assign it to this, let's see, we used to assign it to, these are the three vendors, A, B, and C, and then you would send the letter out to A, B, and C and assign it that way. Now, when a problem happens, our AI agent triages the problem with the tenant, whether it be a residential tenant or a commercial tenant, tells a tenant, these are the things you could do, and if the agent can't help, it rates the problem from like, does this problem have to get immediate attention or can it wait? And based on the AI's knowledge, previous knowledge, it routes it into the system for the manager to deal with. So it's really not all AI, it's AI and HI. Because I'm not saying you need to completely get rid of the manager, but the manager will at least have a lot of help. We'll come in the morning and say, okay, here's the 3 top things that came in. Oh, I got to deal with that leak right now because that leak's going to get me in trouble. That the leak has to be dealt with at a certain time because legally, that's considered an emergency, right? Yeah. So that's the first one that you'll get. Then what happens is the AI will even triage that to the same company or people that this company has used before. So the whole cycle ends up becoming completely automated. And the manager can be as involved or as uninvolved as necessary in every single task.
Yes, and when we incorporated our AI communications agent that was sort of helping with understanding the issues that were being reported by the tenants, it really helped with reducing the number of tickets that were being submitted. And so what we were seeing is that tenants would actually start reporting something that AI could have answered. And AI is very good at understanding and analyzing patterns. And so it can really learn by itself.
To me, every feature of Melk is exciting. And I think there's 2 exciting features. One is it has a deep integration with QuickBooks. And that allows us to use the QuickBooks AI features across the entire portfolio. That is really exciting because it makes it running the properties so much easier. We know our cash flow, we know we know the income, and people want when CFOs want information, they want it right then and there, or even managers. Now, something that I know you're very excited about is the marketing. No property management software has what we have for the marketing. What we found and what we developed was that the other softwares didn't have marketing, and you would have to rely on a lot of different tools to do the marketing, and that would duplicate work. One of the problems is having too many softwares doing too many things. So we brought the marketing team inside the Melk software. And I think that's really exciting because now I'll let Yasmine speak more about this because she's really keeping up with all the latest and greatest trends, but we have agents running every part of our marketing, from social media to SEO to Google advertisements, Bing advertisements.
Yes,
I'll let you explain it
definitely.
more.
It's a very exciting feature for us. Our marketing agent handles the entire, marketing operations from A to Z. So whether it being you needing a website or the vacancies that automatically get listed. Think of traditionally how many people would have to be part of your team, right? To create the copy, create the listing, know how to use
Create
social
the little
media.
website, the SEO friendly content, so Google picks it up and ranks it at the top. And we have made it so our content, the SEO content, it's written in a way where it'll allow, like in short form and long form, keywords, so the listings come up in AI searches. So if someone says to the AI, I'm looking for an apartment on, whatever, Brown Avenue or whatever in Los Angeles. Is there any vacancies? We're optimizing it so the apartments that are in Melk will come up first, because that's what the AI does. As soon as it becomes vacant, it starts listing, it starts generating the SEO. We have a website maker. It's kind of like Claude lives in our system. We have a website maker. It starts generating all the content, and it's content for Google and for AI searches.
Yeah, absolutely. And the other thing is that I had when we talked to a lot of property management companies or owners, that they complain about is there's so many different things that go into property management, like legal compliance, all of those things. Even when it comes to listing your property, you need to know about the local laws of how to even list your property. And so that's something that a lot of people have to really go through the details of learning of how to do. And that's what our AI agent does.
Yeah,
And
well,
so,
in particular, when laws change in certain jurisdictions, the AI will, it's not like you still need a lawyer, and we're not saying that we're taking care of all the
course.
legal parts, but it'll tell you, like, oh, wait a second, you don't want to do a 10% increase in Los Angeles, for example, because it was reduced to 8%. And those things, really help, because it's hard for people to keep up with all the jurisdictional changes and all the
Yeah, of
law
course.
changes. So our AI really does look at the compliance, and it'll look at the leases. It's almost like having an agent constantly looking out and helping you, assisting you with the work.
I was reading that most people don't use Google anymore to search, right?
Really?
So
Oh, wow.
you use Claude, you go to ChatGPT, right? And you and ask your questions that way. And so if you want your business to be visible to different kinds of LLMs, now ChatGPT and Claude being the most popular ones, you really need to do certain things, right, for your business to really appear and be visible to those LLMs. And
Yes.
so our software is fully capable of writing content that is friendly to those types of searches.
You're right. People are doing, I can imagine. I only use ChatGPT when I do my searches now.
Yeah.
But a lot of people still use Google, so it'll also appear in Google. And people who are using Melk are going to be way ahead of the game as compared to people who are using the systems they got onto 10 years ago. Yes, it's painful to switch. Everything, but you have to look at it like this. Every single benefit you get from your business, when you make your business better, it's painful.
It's painful. But we've
Switching
definitely,
anything is painful.
switching anything, change is difficult, right? But we've actually worked really hard to make the onboarding process very easy.
We will transfer your entire data set, everything, onto our system at no charge. And we will make sure everything works. Our team stays with you. And once we know that everything works, only then do we get up. We have engineers helping with all of this. And that, once you're there, yes, you'll have a little bit of a learning curve, but the software is easier to use. It was recently written, and it's a lot more user-friendly, and you get a lot more out of it. Why stay with the old ones that are sort of like tagging on these brand new features that are coming
Yeah,
out? And some of
definitely.
them are not even I don't even think they work that well. We did Melk from the ground up to utilize AI.
Yeah, and there are a lot of problems with legacy applications, right? That you can't simply just go and bolt on new AI onto, right? And so
but that's
we
what they
thought
have to do.
about Yeah, and so that's what they would have to do, but that doesn't necessarily solve the problems that traditionally the user would have. And so when we built Milk, we decided that we want AI to be the core and the infrastructure and building what's needed, not necessarily trying to just add an AI feature here and there. Let's talk about the alert system that we have in place that keeps you up to date with everything that you literally would need to keep on top of when it comes to property management. Like our application is more proactive, wouldn't you say, than reactive? And
Yes, I
you
completely
sort of,
agree.
take care of things before they happen. Because in property management, a lot of things can be predictable, right? So you know what a tenant would need. You know when they want to move out, right? You know when to renew.
Yeah, yes, you're exactly right. So if you know they're moving out in 2 weeks, Melk's agents have already started advertising your unit. There's a lot of things you don't need to rely on your management for. And there's a lot of alerts. Like they wake up and there's a list of alerts they get, and the owner gets them too. And that way, you don't have to worry about why is my property not getting rented, or there might be a problem with a unit coming up. It triages the problems that may be coming up before they even come up. And that really
Absolutely.
helps a lot because you could be a better manager, give your tenant better experience.
Of course. And I think everyone manages their business in a different way. And so having the ability to customize what's important to you versus someone else was also really important for our application.
Like the
And
customizing
yeah,
the dashboards. That's exactly right. And I feel like a lot of property managers are reactive. And with AI, you don't need to be reactive. You can be proactive. You can set up your business so it's run efficiently with less people and more automation. So you can be, you can really be on top of your business and act before something something is a
of
problem.
course.
You
And the
know,
beauty of it is that you can always have human approval as any part of the process that you would think would be important, right?
I always believe that humans should not be doing tasks that can be done by a computer.
Absolutely.
And that's what we've done. That's the bottom line of Milk. It takes care of everything that can be taken care of that does not need human judgment.
Yeah. And so we were recently talking about the study that was published by Harvard Business Review that, a lot of companies are now starting to use AI, right? And so there's so many different AI tools. Everybody wants to use and try different AI tools. The problem with that is that they realized after using so many different things, so many different fragmented systems, the employees were actually more frustrated and more exhausted at the end of the day. And so it's not just about
That's
you
true.
have to use AI, it's about how do you create a system that has everything that you need all in one place. And that's how we decided to build Milk.
For example, if you have all that in one place, and let's say you get a plumber, your system will know that your plumber was too expensive because it has all the data and it could tell you, in your area, you can actually get a less expensive plumber because it knows that, for example, your building is in Wilkins or whatever street it's on. But if you're using one system for PMS, one system for accounting, you may not be getting that insight. That's just one example.
Yeah.
So the more information you have in a system, the better insights you're going to get. The more insights you get, the more automated your company can be. The more automated, the more you can run lean and mean. And the more lean and mean you run, the more profit your company has.
Absolutely.
That's the
That's the
bottom
bottom
line.
line.
It's really just at the end of the day, it increases your profit.
So let's talk about our marketing video generation tool, which is very exciting.
Oh my God, that's my favorite. So I'll start. The video generation is so cool. You can put a QR code on your building, whether it's any kind of building, and the people who drive by can just come there with their phone, scan the QR code, and they see a full video experience of the unit or the apartment or the condo or whatever. And all the manager has to do is just upload it into our system. Our system will give them a QR code, and then they can just list it. That person doesn't really need to go into the unit. At least when they actually go to the building and they look at a sign that you might have outside, all you need is a QR code. It says, look at our unit. They scan it and it's right there. No downloading, no apps, no going on a website. Boom, right there. So they can review the unit, they can go inside the unit, and it's, as high quality as the unit is, our system will help generate the video. Even if an owner doesn't want to, video their unit, just puts a bunch of pictures, we'll turn them into videos with AI. So then the person feels like they're getting AI. And we can collect the information of those people who actually look at the video. We can ask for the email, and that allows managers to then follow up with those emails. Now, if the manager doesn't want to follow up, our AI will follow up.
Of course.
So it's very hard to miss a lead. It's very, the old school way is people drive by, they see a sign, they call. Too many steps. It's better if they could see the sign, go on, look at, scan it with a QR code, check out the unit, we collect their email, and then the agents get to work trying to convert them.
And I think, your tenants too, when they have that experience, it just makes it easier for everybody, right? They'll have the opportunity to know exactly what they're getting themselves into, right? And
they don't need to go call an agent. Can you show me apartment 102?
Go one by one, look at these apartments, look at these properties.
You look at it, okay, this is modern enough. Checks this box, this box, this box. Yes, I want to get, a tour. And some units that we have a lockbox right there, and the AI agent can talk to the tenant about how to, unlock the lockbox and go look at it and put it back. And these are choices that we have. Not every manager has to take each of these choices, but we don't let clients go. Whether they're driving by, we have strong online marketing, we have strong, marketing even when they're driving by. We really help managers get clients and retain them.
It's interesting. We started working together on her other project, Cyberactive, other company that is a very successful company. She's been running for many, many years, right? And
since 2000.
Yes, and you were the original, right? The OG.
Yeah, I was the OG of
business.
online traffic school.
Right.
And driver ed. I used to have an in-house team of programmers, and we also had contracted programmers, and they weren't doing the best job. And somehow we came across your company, and then we decided to outsource all of our tech to your company. So that's it. So
and then
we
just realized that, like, in such a strange way, we're both obsessed with working all the time.
Yeah.
And so I just couldn't believe I found another woman that works as hard as I do.
Yeah, that was actually it. We both realized that we're both crazy, right?
It was insane.
Yeah, I think it's because we have a lot of similarities, both in tech, both work a lot, we have kids, we're very busy, and we love creating. And as we're running Cyberactive, I said I kept talking to her about the property management software, and I was like, I need to get a hold of this. I need to write this software. And then you loved the idea.
I absolutely loved it.
And then you kept saying, this idea is keeping me up at night.
Yeah.
Because I think it's such a great idea. And I said, I think it's keeping me up because I think it can make our workflow so much easier. And then we just started developing it.
Definitely. We started visualizing how it would be, what a dashboard should be. And then I think from the conversations we had together, all the things that you were sort of dealing with on a day-to-day basis, right? All the problems.
Yeah, we sat down and we made a huge whiteboard, and we wrote down on that whiteboard, which I think I still have, and I took a picture of it.
And so when we started talking about all the problems with property management, I think we started searching for software out there, right? We searched high and low.
That's the first thing we did. We searched for software. Our search
everywhere.
Was,
and we even onboarded, if you remember. Do you remember?
We onboarded on a few softwares, yeah.
We tried it all.
We paid a few thousand wasted money, and none of them were good enough.
And how difficult was onboarding? Let's not talk about that.
Onboarding was a nightmare, and a lot of them want to charge you like thousands of dollars to onboard, which didn't make any sense to me.
And you have to do the manual work.
Yeah.
You still have to do the work and get everything, every single detail. And think of all the data you have with your properties. And to put that all in a new software is a big
you really
pain.
need, the onboarding should always be seamless, and I promise Melk will be seamless. But aside from all that, onboarding is once. The thing that killed all of them for me right up front was two things. Number one, they had no integration with QuickBooks. They tied you into their own closed accounting system. And for those people who have different businesses, why would you have some of your businesses living in one system, QuickBooks, the others living in your property management? And why would you be having to do data inputting from your property management onto QuickBooks? That is so yesterday. That is like 10 years ago.
Yeah.
So I just felt like that was something we couldn't do. There was only like one or two companies that did it. They did it poorly. And the other softwares are just so legacy. I mean, they have so many features you just don't need and you don't use, instead of like a few basic features that has great property management, like great maintenance with amazing AI, utilizes agents, utilizes every part of AI, great accounting, good communication.
Great reporting, which was another big issue with
Great,
some of
yeah.
those applications out there.
No reporting. And then
70 pages of reports, but still didn't give you what you needed.
still didn't get you what you needed. And the best part about it is our software has like a self-evolving dashboard. So every owner can design their dashboard to what makes sense to them, what the KPIs that are important to them.
Absolutely.
So for me, as you know, profit and loss is very important to me, and I like to leave out certain things. And those are the things that I get first on my dashboard. I don't need to see maintenance. So I just take maintenance out of it.
Yeah. And I think every business is unique in their own way, right? And then how you want to operate your business versus how someone else would be very different. And so having the ability for the software to customize those features and those dashboards is very important. And so we thought about it being, we definitely thought about Melk being a self-evolving software in that way, that it customizes your experience exactly to what you need and to day-to-day operations.
And that's
of
what
your
it should
business.
do. Whereas the other softwares absolutely don't do that. Like when I log into my current one, my ex-current one, because now I'm a Melk, but when I logged into that one, it was like 1,000 features I don't use and I don't understand. And it's so
Very
legacy. Clunky,
hard to
poorly
work with.
organized. It's just like, no, you need a dashboard that fits exactly what you do. I'm a family office. I want to see my properties here. I want to see these three things in my properties. I want to see the P&L. I want to see my loan documents. I want to see my cap rate. Those are not things my manager sees. My manager sees different things. And my manager gets a different dashboard. So ours is also, that's another thing that we have, is a self-evolving dashboard. And I think that makes all the difference.
Yeah, and of course we have role-based access, and the permissions are different for different users.
Yeah.
And so you can give exactly the amount of permissions that you would want to each employee.
That's right.
And
So your
that's
manager can get certain ones, and it's also great experience for the residents because they get their own portal, and we try not to give them too much, but we give them enough to where they can still run their day-to-day needs.
Yes, we really went through the process of really visualizing what a tenant would need, right?
Exactly.
Easily making the payments,
Understanding it.
asking questions, communicating well, all the communication being in one place. And also, if there's an issue, right, you want to be able to communicate that. You want to be able to get that taken care of right away.
Exactly.
So we really went through those processes when building the tenant portal. We really put a lot of thought into that.
Yeah. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for taking the time to listen to us talk about our software, MELKPM. If you want any more information, please check out the link in the video or reach out to us at melkpm.com and drop us a line. And one of our agents or one of our reps will get back to you immediately, and we can set up a tour and take the next steps.
Yes, thank you for watching this video. If you have any questions, please reach out to us at melkpm.com.